Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Poppy is terrified since Jack is not Luna's father. According to teasers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Lee Finnegan has been furious about what she believes to be Jack Finnegan's affair with Poppy Nozawa, even though they both vowed they never passed the line. Nevertheless, Lee insisted on a paternity test because she believes Jack and Poppy are lying. Lee might be surprised, even though it's obvious that she thinks Luna Nozawa is Jack's daughter. The more Lee insists that Jack is the biological father, the more it appears that someone else is in charge. Lee might realize she's mistaken because all the evidence suggests that Jack is not Luna's father according to the paternity test results. Poppy, on the other hand, already appears uncomfortable about the full truth being revealed. Because of the honesty in her voice, we believe Poppy when she tells Lee that it is impossible for Luna to be Jack's daughter. Poppy might be absolutely afraid when the paternity test results are announced and Jack is ruled out as a potential biological father. More drama is developing on B&B because of a long-kept secret about Luna's father that has really messed Poppy up. Luna has been thinking back on her early days as a go-getter at Forrester Creations when she first arrived in the city. Who gave it to Luna? She is aware that ambition had to come from someplace. In a shocking turn of events, the show has hinted that John Finn Finnegan might be Luna's father. Around the time Luna was conceived, Finn was in his first year of college, and Poppy was living with Finn, Jack, and Lee. As a doctor, Finn undoubtedly has a lot of ambition, therefore he might be the source of Luna's former motivation. Poppy's desperate attempt to hide the fact that Finn is actually Luna's biological father is understandable. When Poppy first appeared, the episode hinted at this Finn possibility because she had called to voice her displeasure with Luna's employment at Forrester Creations. Poppy tried to persuade Luna to leave Los Angeles because she was anxious about what Lee and Finn would say. Clearly, that plan didn't work out, and now Poppy's previous secrets are going to come to light. It appears that Jack will get off the hook soon enough, regardless of whether Luna is Finn's daughter or someone else's. We'll provide you with additional DNA predictions and updates on all the upcoming paternity news because spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful indicate that Poppy will end up in a very bad situation. When Lee finds out that Poppy slept with Finn, she breaks down. According to teasers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Lee Finnegan has long held the belief that Poppy Nozawa had an affair with her husband, Jack Finnegan. Because of this alleged affair that she imagines occurred years ago, Lee also thinks that Jack is the father of Luna Nozawa. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Lee Finnegan demands answers. According to spoilers on The Bold and the Beautiful, Lee doesn't believe Jack or Poppy when they talk about their alleged affair. Lee is adamant about proving her belief that Jack is Luna's father. Is Lee prepared to face the reality that Jack is not Luna's father? Lee demands that a paternity test be performed to demonstrate this. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, when Lee finds out that Poppy slept with Finn, she breaks down. The results of Luna's test might suggest a relationship with Jack. Lee would be extremely surprised, though, if John Finn Finnegan were the real reason for their connection. Imagine Lee's response if she finds out that Luna's father is Finn rather than Jack. What would Lee think if she found out that Luna is actually her eldest grandchild? Jack Finnegan may be telling the truth in B&B spoilers. Jack claims that his friendship with Poppy was never without its challenges. Poppy was his sister-in-law, after all, and Jack didn't regard her as anything more. Yes, Jack cheated on Sheila, but his connection with Poppy is a whole other tale. Even though Jack has a history of lying and cheating, this does not mean that he is lying now. Jack was too busy to have more than one mistress. That was all Finn needed once he was under the hands of Jack and Lee. According to Jack, he never found Poppy attractive. Is Jack being truthful when he says he doesn't have sex with Poppy, or are they both trying to hide their connection to save Lee from getting hurt? Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Lee Finnegan discovers the reality. The idea of Poppy and Jack together appalled Lee. But Lee might lose it if she finds out that Poppy had an affair with her son. Lee probably didn't anticipate Poppy and Finn sharing a bed, even if she is aware that they spend time together. Finn was Poppy's nephew even though he wasn't her biological nephew. Did Poppy and Finn share a bed? If Lee found out that anything occurred between her son and her sister, she would be incensed. Lee is aware, though, that Poppy is a free spirit who indulged in free love and drug use for a considerable amount of time. Did Poppy and Finn's relationship get out of hand? When the truth is revealed, will Lee have a breakdown? Is Lee going to experience her greatest astonishment yet? Friday, January 24th. B&B spoilers, will Lee get the biggest surprise of her life? Friday, January 24th, 2025, spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful hint about the third major announcement of Luna's father in less than a year. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, what will the paternity test reveal? Lee Finnegan is certain that Jack Finnegan is the father of Luna Nozawa. However, Lee poked Jack against his will and conducted a paternity test because he and Poppy Nozawa implicitly disputed it. Poppy and Jack rolled their eyes and called Lee crazy while they awaited the results. There's no excuse for not telling her the truth. What did they stand to lose? Lee will always despise Poppy, and Jack's marriage is ruined. The fact that they didn't come clean could only indicate one thing. Although Lee is happy to announce that the paternity test is prepared, she is perplexed by the findings. Are they ambiguous? Do they claim that Jack and Luna are only partially compatible, which may lead Lee to the entirely other conclusion that fans have been speculating about since last year? Is Luna's father John Finn Finnegan? For the time being, Steffi Forrester Finnegan has something completely different to concentrate on, but that would open up a whole new can of worms for her and her devoted husband. Spoilers for B&B, Daphne Rose gets broke. Daphne Rose is prepared to comply with Steffi's requests. In addition to enjoying seeing Hope Logan and Carter Walton swoon over her as though she would actually do business with such peasants, it feels like a challenge. All Daphne wants is to return Steffi's family and enjoy herself, but they are offering her the world. Trying to get Carter into bed is part of that fun. It should be as simple as taking sweets from a baby because Carter is quite amenable to seduction. On Friday, Carter and Daphne finalize their agreement, but is it a business or personal one? Maybe Daphne needs to do more to shatter Hope's heart and seal the personal part, as Steffi wants. The result of Jack's paternity test and Daphne and Carter's agreement. Here are the spoilers for Friday, January 24th, 2025's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful. Fans may anticipate Lee Finnegan revealing Jack Finnegan's DNA test findings in tomorrow's episode. Daphne Rose strikes a deal with Carter Walton at Forrester Creations. Let's discuss what will happen in the upcoming episode of the CBS soap opera as you continue reading. I hope Logan gets excited. Hope Logan and Carter are both excited that they are moving closer to making a deal with Daphne, according to B&B spoilers for Friday, January 24th. Naturally, Hope and Carter are unaware that Daphne is a mole that Steffi Forrester Finnegan planted in Forrester Creations. B&B spoilers, the deal of Daphne Rose. Fans may watch Carter and Daphne start their bargaining session on Friday, January 24th. Before anything is signed, Carter doesn't want to sabotage this agreement with Daphne. Additionally, Hope urged Carter to take every necessary action to close the agreement with Daphne. But later on, Hope may come to regret those words. Will this plan actually succeed even though Daphne most likely anticipates celebrating with Carter? It appears like Steffi and Daphne are banking on Carter to fall in love with Daphne. Carter might, however, surprise everyone by remaining faithful. Jack Finnegan's test for paternity. According to Friday, January 24th spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Lee made Jack submit to a paternity test. Lee is certain that Jack is Luna Nozawa's biological father. Lee maintains that the test will prove that Jack and Penelope Poppy Nozawa are lying even if they both deny it. What will the test reveal, then? Is Lee's intuition right, or is the plot of Luna's bio dad taking a new turn? Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Daphne and Carter's deal, Jack's paternity test results. Friday, January 24th, 2025, spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful. Fans should anticipate that Luna will continue to swoon over Bill Spencer in tomorrow's episode. Luna frequently expresses her desire for Bill to be her biological father. Additionally, Luna appears to be developing an obsession with Will Spencer, Bill's youngest son. People are beginning to inquire, even though no one is aware that Luna is under house arrest at Bill's house. Will and Liam Spencer are among those who believe Bill's activities are related to Luna. If only they were aware that Bill was keeping Luna hidden from them all in that house. How would Bill defend his behavior once the facts are revealed? With an envelope that may permanently change their lives in its grip, Lee Finnegan stood in the middle of the tense room. There were glimpses of the emotional tempest simmering behind her generally calm exterior. More than just a paternity revelation, the DNA test results in her grasp held the clue to unraveling the complex web of relationships, betrayals, and secrets that had upended her family. With their own hopes, worries, and suspicions about what was ahead, the assembled group, Jack, Finn, Steffi, and even Luna herself, watched with bated breath as she got ready to deliver the truth. As Lee carefully opened the package, the clear sound reverberated throughout the room like a thunderclap, breaking the oppressive calm. Lee's voice weighed the weight of relief and destruction when she finally spoke. She looked at the faces in front of her and stated, "The results are in." There was surprised quiet and gasps throughout the audience as they said, and they confirmed that Finn is Luna's biological father. Finn staggered back, trying to take in the news, while frantically raking his fingers through his hair. Steffi's expression showed a mix of disbelief and mounting uneasiness as her jaw fell. Jack, on the other hand, sighed loudly, not in relief but in resignation, as though he had known this was coming all along. Luna hardly responded as she sat silently in the corner, her reserved demeanor indicating that she had been anticipating this disclosure. However, the confirmation of Finn's paternity wasn't the only twist for Lee. An additional element of difficulty was introduced by the details that were hidden in the report and that she was reluctant to disclose. "Wait," Steffi interrupted, her tone a mix of perplexity and rage. "How might Finn be the father of Luna? There is no logic to this." Her eyes flew between Finn and Luna, seeking explanations, and her words held an accusing tone. "There's no way this happened without someone keeping secrets." Finn's response was a stutter, still reeling from the information. "I don't know," he murmured. "This must be an error of some sort." "What are you not telling us, Luna?" Everyone looked at Luna, whose composed exterior suddenly gave way under the strain. She said sharply and defensively, "I don't owe any of you an explanation. However, I only lately discovered the truth, if you must know. Until today, my mother had never disclosed my father's identity to me. And believe me, I wasn't here to stir up problems." But Lee wasn't going to allow the discussion to go out of control. It was impossible to ignore her imposing presence as she raised her hand to silence the room. Her voice was forceful as she stated, "There's more you all need to know. This goes beyond the fact that Finn is Luna's father. Her creation coincides with a time in Finn's life that he has attempted to forget, a time when he was helpless, aimless, and in need of guidance." As Lee's comments set in, Finn's face went white. Someone took advantage of that, and now we're all dealing with the consequences. He had trouble recalling the specifics of the past Lee was talking about, but it was hard to fit things together because of the haze of far-off memories. The revelation set out a flurry of emotions in Steffi. At first, she felt deceived by Finn's relationship with Luna, but she soon saw that things were far more complicated than they seemed. When she thought about what Finn must be going through, her fury turned to protectiveness. However, Steffi's capacity to keep her feelings to herself was insufficient to cover up the escalating jealousy that was simmering under the surface. It was nearly unbearable for her to think that Luna, whom she had always regarded with distrust, had such a strong bond with Finn. However, Jack stayed unusually quiet, staring at the ground as though he were trying to avoid the topic. Lee felt it was time to confront the elephant in the room after noticing his actions. "Jack," she snapped, her voice brimming with annoyance. "What more would you like to add? Because it seems so unlikely that you didn't think something like this may occur." Jack paused, his body tensed as he searched for the right words. At last, he muttered in a quiet, remorseful voice, "I didn't know. However, I'm not shocked." His evasive response just made Lee more enraged, and she gave him a stare that could have pierced steel. "I always felt like there was something Luna wasn't telling us, and now, well, now we know." She yelled, "You didn't know because you didn't choose to see. You've been evading responsibility for so long that you've become oblivious to the reality." Finn and Steffi attempted to understand the implications of the news for their family as Lee and Jack's dispute grew more heated. With a hint of urgency in his voice, Finn looked to Steffi. "I had no idea, Steffi. I swear I had no idea. But now that we do, we need to decide what to do next, at least for Luna's sake." Steffi nodded, but her face stayed reserved. Her words were, "We'll figure it out. However, don't count on me to accept this right away." "Finn, this is a game changer. Everything." Luna, meantime, observed the sight with a mix of satisfaction and shame. A part of her felt vindicated even though she hadn't expected the impact to be this serious. She had been looking for answers about who she was for years, and now that she had them, she was resolved to take charge of her story. However, Luna's determination was not overlooked. Ever the astute observer, Lee saw the flicker of disobedience in Luna's eyes and chose to confront it directly. "Luna," she said in a cool, collected tone. "Just because you are Finn's daughter doesn't mean you can just walk in here and mess with our lives and get away with it. You must gain our trust if you want to be a member of this family, and the first step in doing so is being truthful about your goals." Luna was offended by Lee's remarks, but she refrained from answering as she knew that defending herself would only make things worse. Rather, she focused on Finn, making eye contact with him as though to say, "This is your mess to clean up now." Sensing the pressure of Luna's stare, Finn inhaled deeply and moved forward. Despite the confusion all around him, he continued in a firm voice, "I don't know what happens next. However, I am certain that we will not allow this to separate us. We are stronger than this, we have already endured too much." As Finn's comments lingered in the air, the room became quiet. For an instant, it appeared as if his determination would be sufficient to heal the rift that had developed between them. However, the tranquility was brief. Jack chose to share his own revelation after he had finally found his voice. With a somber tone, he stated, "There's something else you should know. It's not just about me, Luna, or Finn. Other people are involved, and they do not want the truth to be revealed. And we might all suffer the price if we don't exercise caution." As Lee comprehended Jack's cryptic threat, her eyes narrowed. "What are you discussing?" she insisted. "Who else is involved?" Jack paused, obviously caught between disclosing the whole scope of the problem and defending himself. At last, he responded, "I can't say. Not just yet. But believe me, Lee, none of us can handle this." Everyone was on edge due to Jack's menacing tone, which caused their minds to race with potential outcomes. One thing became evident as the family struggled with the ramifications of Finn's recently discovered paternity and the mysteries that appeared to be hiding everywhere. This was just the beginning. Although the identification of Finn as Luna's real father was revolutionary, the consequences of that revelation would be far more devastating. And Lee, Jack, Finn, Steffi, and Luna couldn't help but wonder what other secrets were out there as they got ready to take on the obstacles that lay ahead. As Lee Finnegan announced the startling findings of the much-anticipated DNA test, there was a lot of anxiety in the air. As Lee's comments broke the stillness, Jack Finnegan, who had been waiting for proof of his paternity, sat still. "Jack," Lee said in a piercing yet disbelieving tone, "you're not Luna's biological father." The news hit the room like a ton of bricks. Jack's jaw dropped open in disbelief, his customary assurance giving way to complete confusion. Poppy stood motionless across the room, her hands shaking as she gripped the back of a chair for balance. She glanced first at Jack, then at Lee, and then at Luna, who was as shocked by the news as everyone else. Her eyes were wide and afraid. Jack stumbled, his voice cracking, "This can't be right. Some mistake must exist." "Are you certain, Lee?" He was immediately hushed by Lee's piercing look. "With something this significant, do you really believe I'd make a mistake?" she yelled. "I had the results verified twice." Jack's face went pale as the news weighed heavy on his shoulders. "The test is conclusive, you're not her father." He had believed, or been persuaded to believe, that Luna was his daughter for years. That presumption had now been disproved, and he was left to deal with an unexpected void. But Poppy appeared as if the earth could give way under her feet. Panic had taken the place of her normally cool-headed and collected manner. The words stopped in her throat as she tried to speak. At last, her voice was barely audible as she croaked, I can explain. However, the gathering was full with unresolved questions and wasn't prepared for explanations. In a sudden outburst, Luna, whose stoic face had been beginning to crack at the corners, said, What, Poppy? You've been lying to me all my life. Who else is my father if not Jack? Poppy clearly recoiled when Luna's demand was made because it was so forthright. She started to reply, but nothing came out. Rather, she looked frantically at Jack in the hopes of finding an ally, but Jack was too preoccupied with his own problems to give her any relief. You've been concealing something from the beginning, Lee charged, squinting at Poppy. It's time for the truth now. Who is Poppy, Luna's father? For all these years, who have you been protecting? Poppy's mouth trembled as she tried to keep her cool. She answered faintly, I don't know, but her body language revealed that she was lying. Lee lost his patience. Poppy, stop telling lies, she let out a bark. For what purpose have you put us all through hell? To shield a man who was unable to even claim his child? You must tell the truth to Luna. With her voice shaking but determined, Luna took the stage as Poppy was clearly crumbling under the pressure of the confrontation. She said, I'll find the truth on my own if you won't tell it to me. Poppy, you owe me that much. Her words, laden with years of repressed anguish and annoyance, seemed to cut through Poppy's barriers. You owe me my identity. However, Poppy chose to turn away rather than respond, her silence saying more than words could. Jack felt betrayed on several levels when it was revealed that he was not Luna's father. In addition to being duped by Poppy, he had constructed a whole story around a relationship that had proven to be a fake. Why, Poppy? Jack's voice broke with passion as he asked. Why did you allow me to think she was mine? His query lingered, but no response was received. Poppy's fear had silenced her, and her unwillingness to accept the repercussions of her behavior was making everyone in the room angry. Ever the practical one, Lee took command. She firmly stated, We'll take this into our own hands if you won't talk. Her resolve rekindled the tension in the room, and for a brief period, everyone's attention was on Luna, who was clearly caught between sadness and rage. There are other ways to uncover the truth. Poppy's terror, however, seemed to increase with each second that went by. She appeared as if she may suddenly run out of the room, and her hands were shaking. She was aware that the walls were closing in on her and that the secrets she had fought so hard to keep were being revealed more quickly than she could keep them safe. At last, in a scarcely discernible whisper, she said, Please. Leave me to see how I can make this right. However, it was too late to stop the harm. There was no going back after the Pandora's box had been opened. The revelation signaled the start of Jack's quest for answers he wasn't entirely sure he wanted. It was the beginning of Luna's quest to recover the identity that had been taken from her. And for Poppy, it was the discovery of a web of deception that had imprisoned her for many years. One thing became evident as the room fell into a tense and uncomfortable silence: the consequences of the paternity twist were still very much alive. Alliances would change, secrets would keep coming to light, and the pursuit of truth would lead to even more disclosures. The only thing that was definite for the time being, though, was that nothing would ever be the same.